can't not keep talking in this voice because it's too cringy. Oh my god, I tried, but I just can't do it. I do not do ASMR. I just can't, guys, okay? But it is what I'm gonna be talking about today, okay? That was probably the cringiest intro in the history of my channel, and I was able to get through it for just a few seconds, but I can't do it past that, you know? But anyway, guys, here's the thing. In case you don't understand what that whispering was there at the beginning, today I'm going to be talking about ASMR, which stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response, okay? And I'm going to break it down for you guys, you know what all of those mean. So autonomous stands for something that is spontaneous or self-governing, with or without control. Then there's sensory, which is about the senses or the sensation, the things that you feel, you know, inside of you or in your body. Then there's meridian, which is a peak, climax, or a point of highest development, you know. And then there's also the response, which is a little self-explanatory, which it refers to an experience that's actually triggered, you know, by something external or internal, you know. So that's basically what ASMR is. It kind of references the feeling that you get, you know, like this tingling sensation that you get here in your neck, you know, that actually starts in your scalp, moves down the back of your neck and all the way down to your upper spine, you know. So that sensation there is attributed to relaxation, you know. And the thing is that ASMR, it's come a long way since it was first referenced back in like the early 2010s, you know, and it is a pleasant form of paresthesia, you know. So it sort of kind of gives you a feeling of very satisfactory, almost like a paralyzation of sorts, you know. And it's been compared with auditory tactile synesthesia, which is a little bit more complex, but it can also overlap with frisson, which kind of refers to those goosebumps that you get, you know, whenever you feel or hear something that gives you a lot of pleasure, you know. Now, unsurprisingly, ASMR has been linked a lot with sexual arousal, you know, because there is a form of ASMR called ASMR erotica, which is a whole different kind of thing, you know. And the thing is that there is a way for you to differentiate it, you know. It's not really the same, although a lot of ASMR probably does trigger you in like a sexual way, you know. But there are like claims that differ it, you know. And Jennifer Allen in 2010, she was a participant in this online forum, and she is the one who proposed that it be called autosensory meridian response, you know. So that's actually where all of those expressions comes from. And there are arguments against the whole sexual arousal thing, you know, that not all ASMR is like that, because there are different triggers, you know. A lot of people discuss this, and there are ASMR artists, you know, that actually argue against it. But there are certain kinds of ASMR that is made to be, you know, intentionally sexually stimulating, but that really comes down to what you feel if you watch a video, you know. In recent years, you know, there's been a whole genre of this on YouTube, you know, and I actually enjoy it. I consume ASMR myself. I have a whole private playlist of my favorite videos from my favorite creators, you know. So it actually is really relaxing. On the surface, it might look weird and it might be a little strange, but it actually helps me and a lot of other people sleep, you know. I have my own personal favorite triggers, so that's kind of how I analyze it. It's just a relaxation technique, you know. And there have been like tens of millions of YouTube videos that were published, you know, over the years, and I think that by June of 2018 there were over 13 million, you know. So there are a lot of creators out there, men and women, who do a lot of different things, and I personally think it's really relaxing, you know. I enjoy it a lot, and the very fact that there's a scientific study around it that involves how it works around your brain and down your neck, you know, I think that it's come a long way, you know, since the early days. The very first few ASMR videos on YouTube might have come off as a little weird, you know. I can understand why, but I think today the internet has embraced it as an art form, you know, and I'm all here for it, man. Now, the earliest mention of anything remotely related to ASMR was way back in 1925, you know, in a book called Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, you know, and she actually said, and I quote directly from the source here, that she was talking about a nursemaid speaks to a man who is a patient, you know, and she speaks to him, you know, deeply, softly, like a mellow organ, but with a roughness in her voice like a grasshopper's, which rasped his spine deliciously and sent running up into his brain waves of sound. You know, so way back in the day, that's how ASMR was perceived, you know, and it just kept evolving, you know. And the thing is that ASMR has a few different kinds of triggers, you know, so the sensation is a little different, but it has been akin to the subjective experience, the sensation, or the perceptual phenomenon of itself, you know, which can be described by some of them them as being kind of like akin to a mild electrical current in your brain that moves down to your neck and the rest of your upper body, you know, particularly in your spine. So there is a tingling sensation on your skin, and there are different triggers for people, you know. So for example, there are people who really enjoy, there are a few categories, and I think I'm gonna break them down to make it a little easier, okay? So we have here, for example, auditory. So whenever you hear something like, for example, whispering in your ear, you know, or maybe like somebody crinkling some paper next to you, you know, or just even, this is where it gets a little bit more complicated, you know, like you can flex materials like paper, you know, or writing something that also is ASMR, you know, fingers scratching or tapping on a surface, you know. But the thing is that it has to be whispered and very close to your ear in like a very low sound, because that's where the trigger itself actually originates from, you know. That's what it actually, that's actually where the erotica comes in, because it can be used in an erotic way, you know. Like for example, in real life you can have a partner whisper in your ear to get you in the mood for some action, you know, and like tapping on your face and that kind of thing. So the auditory ASMR, I believe, is the most common one, and it's very easy to trigger people using auditory triggers, you know. Personal attention is also a very popular one, because it's basically people giving you very close-up attention. So for example, I don't know, massaging your face, or giving you a makeover, or cleaning your ears, or massaging you, you know, or just complimenting you, whispering very close to you. So also getting a haircut, your nails painted, that kind of thing. There are a lot of really good examples. So and as the person does these actions, they will talk to you in a whispered tone and make you feel very relaxed. So I mean, it's actually really interesting how it works, because you never really, since I was a kid, I used to feel this sensation and I never knew what exactly it was, you know. But there are certain triggers that make people react in different ways, so it's actually really interesting. And like I said before, there are different categories, like for example, clinical as well. Clinical ASMR is the most complex one, because it's you knowing very well that you are in a simulated environment where the ASMR artist, which is the ASMR and the artist mixed together, the ASMR artist is going to simulate, for example, you getting a doctor's checkup, or going to the dentist, or I don't know, getting a cranial nerve exam, which I guess is the most popular one. People love cranial nerve exams, you know, and it can actually have therapeutic outcomes, like you're actually there feeling the sensation of having this experience, you know. So it's actually very, very impressive. And there are a few tidbits of info here that are really interesting, you know, where they are known as voluminous anecdotal reports of their effectiveness in inducing sleep, you know. So basically there are studies that shows that these kinds of ASMR videos, especially the clinical ones, which are one of the most popular, they can help people that suffer from insomnia or even depression, you know, anxiety, and have panic attacks. So it really does help us out a lot. So these are very popular for a reason, you know. I actually really like these, you know, it's really cool. And going to a barber shop also, for example, you know. And then there is the tactile ASMR, which can be like, in addition to the audio and visual stimuli, it kind of invokes a few other things, you know, like light touches and brushing against the skin, you know, kind of like efferouge. It's very interesting because they can all be mixed, you know. It's very possible to have all of these categories in just one ASMR video. And there are some where, for example, the ASMR artist has two different microphones here next to their mouth, and they're whispering in one and maybe taking like a brush and brushing the other one, you know. And and taking some items like, I don't know, those little bubble wraps or even paper itself and crumbling it, you know, popping. It sounds weird talking about it this way, but it actually is incredibly relaxing. If you've never watched an ASMR video in your life, I definitely recommend it, you know. There are so many different triggers, and there actually is a list of them here, you know. For example, let's see, one that I haven't said, you know. For example, hand movement, you know, like around your face, you know, listening to different kinds of music. A person might breathe in and out on a microphone that's very close to your ear. That also helps, you know. Mouth sounds like licking and, you know, clicking of the tongue, you know, and smacking the lips, and you know, sometimes grooming, hair brushing, that kind of thing. There are people who watch others do a task, like preparing food or something, you know, or maybe even reading a book. There is this subcategory of ASMR, which I think is mukbang or something of the sort, or at least that's what it's called in Asia, where it's you looking at somebody eating food, and the sound of that person chewing gives you ASMR. I think it's weird as hell, because whenever I watch somebody eating, I get hungry, I want to go eat something. So that is a massive turn off for me in the ASMR world. I don't like watching that kind of ASMR, but I enjoy the more creative ones, you know. But the whole eating thing, man, that's not for me. Now, there are two distinct categories of ASMR to classify them by, which is intentional and unintentional. Now, the intentional ASMR, as the name suggests, is something that, for example, a YouTube video or something that is giving you different triggers that will intentionally try to induce ASMR in you, you know, and give you those tingles and goosebumps on your skin, you know. And the unintentional are like, for example, movie scenes or on TV shows that like give you the feeling of ASMR without actually meaning to, you know. YouTube actually has a lot of really great compilations about this, you know, like unintentional ASMR in movies and TV shows, you know, even in games. So watching those videos, I can understand because it gives me ASMR, some of the scenes, you know. One of the most popular ones was in Edward Scissorhands when I think her name is, what the hell was the character's name? Peggy, something of the sort. She's putting on makeup on Edward, you know, so that is a very popular scene for ASMR, you know. And of course, intentional. There are creators out there who really think outside the box, and usually ASMR videos are very long. We're talking any upwards of like 40 to 50 minutes at the low end, you know, and there are some that are an hour long or so. There are entire compilations, for example, I don't know, like 1, 5, 10 hours even of ASMR, you know. Why are these videos so long? Because they are to try to make you go to sleep, you know. It's actually very, very, very rare, at least in my opinion, in my experience, and a lot of the comments that I see on YouTube, you know, it's very rare to watch an ASMR video to the end. Like if I try to watch a 30-minute long ASMR video, I usually fall asleep within like the first 10 minutes, depending on what it is, you know. Like I said, I have my personal favorite triggers, but I don't want to talk about what they are because it might come off as a little weird and creepy, so I'm not going to talk about that. But I do have my own triggers, you know. I will, however, share with you guys some of my favorite ASMR artists, you know. There is, for example, GB ASMR. She's one of the best ones on the platform, you know, and she's American and one of the most popular ones. She was actually a pioneer of the ASMR genre herself, you know, and the vast majority of ASMR artists that I see are women because I guess maybe they have a little bit more success in this area, you know. I am a straight man, so I prefer to watch women do ASMR. I don't want to watch like men's like channels, you know. That doesn't make me feel really good, but I like it when it's just one woman or multiple, you know. So GB is one of my personal favorites. There is also Latte ASMR, who's also a woman. She is Asian, and her videos are very well produced, you know. She puts in so much effort into her videos that it's freaking ridiculous, you know, and she has so many subscribers, and a lot of them, she's very positive, you know. In every single one of her videos you can tell that there's a lot of very positive energy, you know, so it really makes me feel good to watch her videos. And I don't know, man, I just I have my personal favorite creators, and I always find myself going back to them, you know, and it's just weird. And Latte records videos in different languages, so she's Asian. I do believe she is a native Korean, so she does ASMR in Korean, but also in Japanese and in English. And sometimes she will literally do the same video like multiple times in different languages, you know, so it's freaking amazing, man. This girl really deserves a lot more subscribers than she has, you know, but I don't know if she's been at it for as long as GB, for example, so maybe that's why, you know. But anyway, there is also ASMR Darling, you know, her real name is Taylor. I'm gonna leave a link to her channel here as well, and she is also very, very impressive. You know, she actually, I think, is, go away you stupid truck, she is, I think, maybe the one ASMR artist that has a Wikipedia channel, a Wikipedia page, you know. She also popularized a few different things, you know, a few different techniques to use, and she's actually really short. I saw her doing a collaboration once with a bunch of ASMR artists, and she's actually a freaking pipsqueak, you know. It's freaking crazy. And there are a few others too that I enjoy, but like, for example, I don't know, there are some that I watch not too frequently, I will admit, but then again, it's just, if I could give you like a top 5, I guess another one would be, what was her name? Let me just take a quick look here, guys, because I forgot, I haven't watched ASMR in a good minute, so I forgot her name, but I think she's also Asian. I'm gonna try to give you guys at least 2 more that I really like a lot, okay? So here we go. I'm going to access my secret playlist here on YouTube, and now one of them that I like a lot is, where is she? What's her name? Okay, here we go. Dana ASMR. Dana ASMR is also an Asian YouTuber. I actually believe she records her videos only in Korean. No, there actually are a few English ones, you know. And she actually became kind of famous for doing this one that was this robot one. What's it called? Damn it. What's it called? Where is it? I just had it here. Here we go. It's called Let Me Fix You Home Robot Annual Checkup, you know, and it's really, really well made. Very amazingly edited, you know, with her pretending to be like a robot repair person, you know, and it really came out amazing. There's also one where she does a haircut, which puts me to sleep in like freaking 15 minutes, you know, that video is freaking crazy. And there's also, I also enjoyed the work of ASMR Glow, you know, she's also really cool. That's all I'm gonna talk about. She actually did a collaboration with GB some time ago. How did I pronounce her name? Did I say Gibi or GB? Because it's GB, okay? GB ASMR. If I mispronounced it before, I'm sorry. They did a collaboration together, which is putting makeup on the person, you know, and it came out really okay. I love how I refuse to say what my favorite triggers are, and yet I'm listing off my favorite videos, so let's kind of give it away at that point, you know? So yeah, man. ASMR is a very amazing art, you know, and I really enjoy it a lot. I think that it's very, very underrated and more people should appreciate it and give it a chance. Let me know in the comments below if you happen to watch ASMR, you know, if you ever have, and if you don't, if you're curious about it. If you have but didn't like it, why exactly didn't you like it, you know? What are some of your favorite triggers, your favorite artists? You know, I would love to hear about that. It's going to be a really nice discussion, okay? You may have noticed that a lot of my ASMR artists that I listed are women, and it's going to stay that way. I don't like men doing ASMR because I'm not gay, you know. It seems weird to me in that aspect, you know. But anyway, yeah, I guess that's it. Before I finish this video, before I roll the outro screen, you know, first let me do my little outro here. If you happen to like this video, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification button to know exactly what time I upload, this and that. You guys already know how it is. So anyway, before I sign out, I'm actually going to show you guys a short clip here of ASMR in case you're unfamiliar with it, and also to see if you guys can induce some triggers in yourself, okay? So watch this little clip here and stick around to the end, because after this clip is when my outro screen will officially pop up, okay? So without any further ado, I hope you're laying in bed at night ready to go to sleep, or else it's gonna be a little awkward. Let's take a look at a few popular ASMR triggers right now.